intense now than maybe it's ever been? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know that. Just back to work, and as I said, the only ways that you know how to do that, I probably figure. You don't even have to guess where you're going, but I mean it's we saw it, you saw it, the entire football world saw it. That it wasn't good enough, and it's not acceptable to us. And not much more to say about that.
Jim, why do you think the offense has been inconsistent? That's what Nick Eubanks said after the game, and said, they'll be fluent at some point, but how much patience do you have for that?
Well, you got to do. Players have to focus. Players have to play with focus, and that has to be coached too. If that's not getting done, if the players aren't, if we're missing a detail by one position, and then a mistake pops up at another position on the next play, if there's always one guy, that's coaching and focusing by the players to make sure they're doing their job.
How much of that is a function of being in a new system that maybe still has time to be installed or needs time?
Well, it's got to make sure that it's done and it's done right. And, as a week of practice goes on, if it's not done right, then we got to do it again. I got to make sure of that, and that's part of my responsibility.
On the right,
2 years ago, there was kind of a similar loss at Penn State and played Rutgers the next week. So was it hard at all then to motivate, or was it just kind of forgetting?
No, we're not, there's no excuse being made. There's no forgetting. It's, we got to rally. We got to, as I said, this is the most important week. This game, the most important game, and our focus. And it's got to be better. It's got to be better. It's got to be better by myself. It's got to be better by our coaches. It's got to be better by our players.
on the left, Nick.
Jim, you mentioned finding guys that need to get out there, need to emphasize, need to get the ball to, maybe to Nico at the end of the game makes a couple of nice catches or contested catches. Is that an area of the offense where you can see more of that, more pushing the ball to him, or let him, kind of be an athlete, be a player?
Yeah, it's all areas right now. So we feel we have good players that they've got to focus in on every play at the receiver position, the offensive line. We talked about that being an experienced group. They've got to play good. They got to hustle. They got to protect the quarterback. They got to play physical in both areas, pass protection and the run game. It's our job to get them to do that. We got backs that need holes. We're going to expect our offensive line to move people, and that didn't happen in this past game. We weren't as physical as our opponent in the offensive line or the defensive line. It all ties into all 11.
Front left, Larry.
Jim, what happened when you had to call a timeout after Ronnie Bell's big play there, and what can the offense learn from, I guess, next time that happens, where you don't need to call a timeout, you're ready to have the next play?
Yeah, there was a flag down on the field. Didn't know what it was for. Thought it was might have really been looking as a face mask or something along those lines. Was asking, wasn't getting any feedback to what it was, and then they announced it on the loudspeaker that it was inadvertent flag. It had fallen out of the official's pocket, and then started the clock. And so, we got to get that on us to get that information and get it quickly and get the play call into the players knowing what that situation was. We thought it was going to be half the distance to the goal. It wasn't. We had to change and ran out of time and had to call timeout.
Right here, Ashley.
Jim, Nick said on Saturday that he thought maybe there was some dwelling on some of the early mistakes in the game. Do you think that played a part in the out-hustling that you're talking about?
Say that again, Nick said?
Nick said that some of the early mistakes that you guys made on Saturday, that he thought players were maybe dwelling on that a little bit. Do you think that had an effect on being out-hustled, like you said?
Well, if Nick said it, it could have, but, I mean, that's no excuse. There's plenty of other plays throughout the game that, whether it was missed tackles, we had a lot of misfits. We didn't fit the run game correctly. They did a great job of taking advantage of that, and big plays came off of that, off of missed tackles, off of just in just about every area, as I said. So.
Got time for a couple more questions, starting on the left to Ryan.
Ben Mason's fumble, did you sense that deflated the offense at all?
I think that was just the same question there.
Right, but did you get a sense that it deflated the offense, and said it killed momentum? And if so, how do you improve responding to adversity there?
I mean, I did that drive. I didn't sense that killed, it was responsible for the rest of the game. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable for, as I said before, A to Z. Wasn't acceptable. That would be another thing if that was the case.
In the back, Jolie.
Coach, in situations like this where you're coming off of a game where you're facing adversity, how much is it on the coaching staff maybe versus the senior leadership or the captains to get the team together and rally, or do you more put that emphasis on the captains to internally motivate the players? Like, how much is it coaching staff versus players?
Well, it's never versus. I mean, we're a team. We believe in each other. We are dedicated to getting it fixed. I know that's the way our players approach it. I know that's the way our coaches approach it.
On the left, Aaron.
When do you anticipate getting True Wilson back, and what's Zach Chevrolet's status for this week?
It's possible to get True back. We will see. Feel like Zach's in a good place, and he was back last week, and he's back this week.
Last question, Chris.
That was my question. I guess I'll ask about Mozzie and Chris Hinton, and maybe is there a possibility that we'll see them, and how are they progressing to maybe give you some help on the D-line?
Yeah, we're looking for, if there's, as I said, the players that they're gonna help us, and maybe somebody can help us on a cover team, on a return team, run down and cover a kickoff, run down and cover a punt. Looking for guys to step up and play with that great focus and physicality and hustle that this level demands.
Sean Kuhn, do you have an update on Sean and also Shea? I mean, you said he was being evaluated at halftime. It looked like he took, pardon me, a lot of hits. Looked like he was holding his shoulder a little bit.
Yeah, that's another area. We have got to do a better job of protecting the quarterback. Shea's a tough guy, but we got to give him time to throw, make reads, do what he's capable of doing. He's a very good player. I think he is. He'd be probable for this week. And Sean McCune, I would say doubtful.
That's the last question. Austin, do you want that?
Yeah, I was just gonna follow up on that. Do you go into this week with Joe as the number 2 quarterback with Dylan limited?
Yes.
Did you raise your hand?
Can I ask you, Jim, do you have a level of frustration with the offense, and if so, do you take play more of a role in calling plays at this point, or do you let Josh?
No, Josh said we believe in, as I've talked about this before, I believe in our coaches, I believe in our players, and in the ways that we haven't been successful in this past game, it was thorough. It was a lot. But I know our coaches are determined. They're not accepting it, and got to do a better job. And we put that on all of us. Same thing we feel about is if we were a player, if we're a coach, that's self-critical is the way we're looking at it, and we're looking at it as determined, without excuse, to get it fixed. Okay.
Thank you.